What's up, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO and Tesla SPY in the overall markets and break down some very important things that are going on when it comes to the global stage, not to mention some new developments in the charts that we're seeing. But just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Webull link. If you deposit any amounts of money, you're guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 in total. And deposit $25,000 more, and you're guaranteed 75. The offer ends very soon, in just about 2.5 weeks from now. Anyways, let's talk about the market. So the whole market got a bit of a sell-off because of a lot of fear involving the Middle East right now, and the situation is very intense. That's why I think it's very important for me to go over the news, and I'll break down more details about the charts. But firstly, just know that NIO is barely holding its 200 EMA right now. If we manage to lose that, we're going to be looking for a bigger dip closer to the low $5 area. If it holds, we could attempt to rebound for 6.01. We'll see how things go, but let's first talk about some data. Tomorrow is going to be Wednesday, October 16th, 2024. Please remember, there's not really much data coming out. We just have export prices at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Times and a couple of bill auctions. But everything else is like really, really minor, so don't really worry too much about that. When it comes to other pieces of news, I just want to mention that for earnings, for Wednesday, we have ASML, we have Morgan Stanley, and a few others, but nothing too serious, nothing too crazy. So I'm not really too worried about any of this. I do want to mention that US Bancorp has earnings a little bit before market open as well. And then after that, there's a few others. But everything is very, very minor. There's nothing too crazy coming out until tomorrow. We have TSMC, not to mention Netflix. For a few more out there, I just want to mention that we also happen to have some news about NIO. So NIO is talking about how they're developing their ET5, which is getting a lot more exposure. Is the ET5T, just to clarify that. So this is actually very, very beautiful, very, very cool stuff, as a lot of viewers are now going to be looking at this as they expand their sales. And then we're looking for new contracts that are expanding in the Middle East, which is going to once again help their sales boost. That's some big news for them. As far as the global stage goes, there's a lot of threats right now involving Israel and Iran. So please be very careful and very mindful of that. There's been a lot of talk about how Israel may be narrowing down its targets to strike on Iran, which could be happening overnight. So please be very careful, guys. There's a lot of tension right now, so you have to be very mindful of that. Also, guys, I want to mention that JP Morgan has upgraded NIO to an overweight rating. That's not bad whatsoever. Besides that, the price price ratio is tipping just a little bit. It's not really much else that's coming out. Seasonality just remains kind of neutral. We need to see more volatility at 11 o'clock a.m. Not, excuse me, not to mention the second to last hour of the day. So as far as our dark pool data goes, I just want to mention we have about 64 million in volume. That's currently a little bit above average. And then besides that, I didn't really see any other like major pieces of news. So I'm not really too worried about anything else. So what do I see for the charts moving forward? What is my anticipation, at least for the future of these earnings? Just know that as far as NIO goes, I'm anticipating that this could be retesting this support at this 5.46 area. We do look a little bit more bearish. And if we do get some kind of strike overnight, there's going to be a risk of more downside. I would say that right now the share price is still looking a little bit more bearish as we are continuing to dip. But in order for us to get a bounce, we need to see us try to hold this support. I think the odds favor 5.4 is our potential target, and there is a little bit of a downside risk for the company. So watch for that very carefully. We might be testing 5.4 tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes. As far as SPY goes, sorry, right over here, SPY is still looking a little bit more bearish as we got this news involving Israel, and we're continuing to sink. If 579 breaks, we're looking for basically 575 as our target. If that fails, we're looking for a bigger tip back down to about 568. If this holds, we could attempt to rebound for the 580s, but there's no sign of a bounce yet, and there is a risk of more downside looking at the technicals. So we'll see how things go with the whole Israel situation. For ES, I just want to mention we look a little bit more bearish. If we can't get back above 58.69, red risk of coming down to 58.33. So look for more potential downside for that chart. For Nvda, we also look a little bit more bearish. If we don't hold a 129, we're looking for a dip even lower. So I'm looking for 129 as our target for tomorrow, followed by the mid 120s if that ends up failing. For Bitcoin's looking a little bit more bullish. It does want to get past the 68,000 area. So it could attempt to go a little bit higher despite the market slowing down. As far as Tesla goes, we're just consolidating between 215 and about that 220 area. So I see that it's consolidating. They might attempt to rebound a little bit for 225 tomorrow, but there is a risk of it dipping lower, especially if we do get that attack. So look for some consolidation between 225 and 215. I think we could rebound for 225 tomorrow as we're looking for a bullish cross in the PPO, but then it might continue to consolidate. I'm just going to go over a couple more. NQ looks a little bit more bearish. We could be looking for 20,200 as our main support. If that fails us, we're looking for 20,000. Still looks a little bit weak right over there. The QQQ is in a very, very similar boat. It's still looking kind of weak looking at these new developments. If 490 fails us, we're looking for 488 as our next target. So be very, very mindful of that. And then last but not least, the last chart I'm going to be going over is going to be Aapl stock. As far as Aapl goes, if this ends up dipping, we're looking for a potential target of about 232. So please be very, very mindful of that. I do believe that Aapl could dip a little bit, so we'll see how things end up going. But with that being said, I just want to say I really appreciate you guys so much for listening. So please have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys very soon in the next one, and peace out.